So glad you could join us. And there's still some people, I think, coming on board. So while we're waiting, I'd like to meditate to one or two songs. We'll see how they go. These are from my favorite group of Zazen. And also the first song or two. The first song is from Joaquin Lovato, who is Bodhi, who is the guitarist. So we're going to start with him. And then we're going to go through to Solarization, which is from the Samadhi album. And these albums are available on the Frederick Lynn Society. Here we go. Take a breath. Well, another Sunday, wonderful day, another day in paradise. It really is. Another day in paradise. Wow. So today I'd like to talk about you and me, I guess. Who are we? One of the terms that's used in spiritual practice is self-discovery. Um, so who are we? In this incarnation, I started out as a Christian. And it has a pretty profound effect on me because I had a profound connection to Christ. I ended up having to leave the Christian church because my experience of Christ did not match all of their fear and anger and self-righteousness that I found in the church. They were constantly laying guilt and shame on everyone. And when I would go in and touch Christ, I felt none of that. All I felt was this divine love. So I started my search. And along the way, I don't know if I found it or it found me, but the enlightenment process began. We are created in the image and likeness of God, the Creator. God is not in our physical image. I got into trouble in Sunday school when I was about 5 years old. The Sunday school teacher read a scripture about how big God was. God was all powerful, all knowing, and everywhere present. Omniscient, omnipotent, and omnipresent. And I looked at my school teacher and I said, well, if God is everywhere, where would be the end of his nose? Where would be the end of his hand? And I thought they were going to cast demons out of me. It was not a question they wanted to answer. In Buddhism, they talk about you and the fact that they say you'll never die. That's the good news and the bad news. You're here for existence. That's your job. You're here for existence. You exist. And what you do with that existence is your creation. It's your world. And I see people desperately trying to get other people to see the world as they see it. There's a lot of conflict going on. So if God is not in your image, in the fact that God does not have eyes or ears or the five senses that we know, then who is God? What does God look like? If God has no beginning or ending, if it's everywhere present, if God is everywhere present, then there's no center to God. There is no center because God has no edges. And you are created in the image and likeness of that. So I guess what we're really talking about is you as a sentient being or a soul. A lot of religions say they don't believe in reincarnation, and that's just crazy. They all believe in an afterlife. If they believe in an afterlife, then they believe in some sort of reincarnation, don't they? You're coming again. You're going to exist again. But see, they're continuing to make God in their image, not the other way around. The infinite is everywhere. There is no place that it is not. There is no power except the one power of creative mind, which is expressing in each one of us uniquely. Each one of us falls into these 6 windows houses, our 5 senses and our mental capacity. And we're given complete amnesia about who we are and what we are. We're surrounded by people who are doing their best to help us out in this environment. Our parents changed our diapers, burped us, fed us. They did everything for us. They gave us language. They tried to teach us how to get along in this particular element, in this society. And they provided us with a lot of things, tools, language. And if we were lucky, they taught us things like compassion and empathy. They showed us the way of love, of selfless giving. If it was done correctly, that's what a good parent does. God is not made in your image. And that means that your physical body, who you think you are, is an illusion. It's a dream by your higher self. The part of you that is connected to the infinite and is expressing, since God, since the divine has no eyes or ears, you are the eyes and ears, as is everything. You say, God has no eyes? God has billions of eyes. It sees the universe through everything. It sees the universe through our eyes, through my little dog's eyes. It sees the universe through that fly that you're about to swat. It's watching everything in all different types of awareness, all different types of realizations. Everyone, over 7 billion people on this earth right now, everyone is having a different experience of the divine. And the divine is experienced this creation through every one of us, through all of us together, and through each of us individually. It is infinite. It is perfect. It is love. It's kind of hard to see that sometimes when you're caught up in the storms of life. Right now, this world is going through a birthing process. I'm not the only one saying this. There are lots of light workers on the earth today. We'll call them light workers. I think they're enlightened, but light workers, and they all pretty much say the same thing, that this is waking up. We're moving into a new age. And things are being explored and things are being revealed, and it's only starting. It's going to become much, much more radical as the expansion of our world starts to just reach out, and this awareness of all things starts to express itself in every aspect of its creation. We are moving into a new world, and the old terrible things that kept us locked up in hatred and in fear, that kept us accepting the concept that slavery was our purpose, that we are here just to be a slave. We work for 40 hours a week, we get a little bit of time off, but we don't make enough money to be free. And if we're lucky, once a year you get 2 weeks off and get to go on a vacation. Slavery. And then there's work. It's an attitude. Are you serving? Are you giving of yourself selflessly? Are you doing the best you can? Not because people want you to be that way or they'll think highly of you, but because it's the right way to be. Do you give of yourself? And you don't keep a ledger of, well, I helped them 5 times and they've only helped me 3. No. We're moving into a new world, a new age. An age where we get along. When I first studied with my teacher, one of my very first CDs that he had out way, way, way back. I don't even think it was not a CD at the time, it was a cassette tape. But he was welcoming us to Lakshmi, which was our community. I just joined and was very excited. And he said, here in Lakshmi, we don't have rules, but we are committed to doing the right thing. And the right thing is selflessness. I'm just going to add what the right thing is. But we do the right thing. That's the rule, I guess. Okay. Now we're going to pause for a minute. Here we go. You are spirit in the flesh. I had a realization several years ago. It was so amazing to me. I'd never heard it before. And I started telling people. And then much to my astonishment, everybody I knew had already heard it from somebody else. But my original realization was that we are not physical beings that have a spiritual experience, but we are spiritual beings having a physical experience. And I thought that was such a great realization. And then everybody said, oh, we've been singing. I went to my brother's church in Pismo Beach. This is after I had the realization. And as I walked in the door, there on their podium was a sign that said, we are not a physical being having a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings having a physical experience. It was written right there. My personal awakening, my inspiration, everybody knew. And so, you know, there you go. There you go. Anyway, it's true. You're identifying yourself with your life, your body. You go up to an enlightened teacher and they'll say, "Who are you?" And you'll say, "Well, I'm Joe Smith." And the teacher will say, "Nope, nope, nope, you're not Joe Smith." Yes, yes, I am. Here, look at my license. You hold up the license plate, out of your wallet and point. See, it says right there, Joe Smith. Teacher looks at the picture and looks at you and says, "You're not the person in that picture." But all of my friends say this is who I am. And the teacher says, "Well, they're wrong." So now confusion sets in. You become discombobulated. How's that for a word? And then you get it. You've been identifying as the man, as the person, as this experience of life. You've given yourself a race, a sexual orientation. You've given yourself an economic strata to be in. I'm not as good as that, but I'm definitely better than that. I'm this race. I'm different from the other races. I'm more advanced than others. Or everybody's more advanced than me. You're none of that. Oh my God. I wish you could see who you are. When I meditate on you, I just fall in love. I fall in love with your spirit. Unabashedly. I know you've got flaws. Don't we all, right? We're all working on stuff here. We're all trying to become awakened. We're all trying to become aware of our true nature. But as long as we keep identifying ourselves as being a human and create a God that is human, a God that has moods and carries a grudge and gets angry and all of that, then you need to expand your view of God. You need to awaken to a greater realization of what God is, not some personality, not something like you in this world, but something like you in the spirit. When I meditate on you and fall in love with you, I'm not falling in love with your physical form. I'm not even falling in love with what you're doing in this life. I'm falling in love with God. And I just wish you'd wake up. I wished you would wake up a little bit. Quit hurting each other. Quit hurting yourself. Why are you feeling so badly about things? Why are you thinking that this world is destroying itself when it's just going through a birth? Why are you so upset with the government stuff? With what other people are doing? You realize that when you touch the anger and the outrage, when you touch the judgment, especially the self-righteous judgment of we're so good and those people are so bad, these take you into a hell world of consciousness. And a hell world is made up of darkness, of being separate from yourself and from everyone. There's a loneliness there that is horrible because you're in a dark night of the soul. You're lost in this density, in this dream. And then part of you that's awakened will come to you. And it will say, read this book, go to this meeting, sit with this teacher. And you follow the spirit. We need to follow the Spirit. We need to be one with the Tao. We need to be one with the void. And we need to be one with the creation. How are you naming the creation? Are you seeing this creation as being ugly, horrible? Well, it can be, you know. You can go on YouTube, go through the History Channel, and you can see hours of videos of how we have tortured and hurt each other throughout history. We can see how we've taken whole races of people and subjugated them and made them slaves, treated them as subhuman. That's us. When you do that to another person, you're doing it to yourself. Stop it. Be kind. Seek God. God is everywhere. There's no place God's not. And when you look at a part of creation that's not meeting your expectations because people are misbehaving and hurting each other and causing great harm, pray. Pray for awakening in yourself and in others. But the awakening of the world starts within you. When you get rid of the darkness inside of you, you will become enlightened. It's that easy. Or maybe it's that hard. Forgive yourself. Forgive those who have hurt you, who have injured you. If it's your parents, forgive them. If it's an uncle or an aunt, forgive them. If it was a teacher in school or some bullies that you had in junior high or whatever, forgive them. They didn't know what they were doing. If they knew what they were doing, they wouldn't do it. I guarantee it. So when you see bad actors and you see bad things happening, don't get caught up in it. Just pray for them. Pray for yourself. We're going through a birth right now. The new world is coming. It's about 6 months away. It'll start really coming on board then. So we've got about 4 or 5 months of just craziness. Don't get involved with it. Turn the TV off. Quit going to demonstrations. Forgive everybody. If you feel strong enough that you need to go down to a demonstration, I suggest you sit and pray with all of your heart for the people that you want to demonstrate against. That you pray for them to become enlightened, for the love and the divine seeing of the higher part of their nature start to awaken, so that they let go of all of those things that are holding them in that hell world that they're living in. That you're living in. Contemplate. This week, the assignment, I'm giving assignments. You're not even my students. I'm giving you an assignment here. The assignment is contemplate omnipresent, omnipotent, and omniscience and unconditional love. Those 4 things. Just do that all week long. Take 5 or 6 minutes and imagine everything. Imagine everywhere. Endless. Endless love. Endless creation. Endless power. Endless presence. No place that is not. Undefined except by us. We define it. We're the ones that give it a name. Can you move beyond that? Omnipresent, omniscience, omnipotent, unending love. You can call that the Buddha, or you can call it Christ. I find they're one and the same. Each one of them, as we know them, Buddha or Christ, is itself less than what it is. The Buddha and the Christ are not limited by our mind. We are unlimited. Be kind with yourself. Quit touching those sticky things that grab your consciousness and drags you down into outrage and anger and fear. Let them go. Pray. Pray for all of those things that are trying to make you fearful or angry or whatever. Pray for your enemies. Forgive them all, as you will be forgiven. Seek God. Seek the infinite with all of your mind, with all of your heart, with all of your spirit. Focus upon that. Open your heart wider than it's ever been opened. Meld into that perfect divine love. Dissolve yourself and everything in it. You're going to be around for all time. You will have one incarnation after the other. Or maybe you'll just have one incarnation in heaven. I shouldn't laugh. I just see that's kind of silly. It's too limiting. This is a very big creation. It goes on endlessly. It's not just 10,000 levels of awareness. It's infinite levels of awareness. It's not just 10,000 dimensions. It's 10,000 times 10,000 times 10,000 dimensions. And you're that. And you're having a physical experience. It's temporary. It is. I'm going on my 74th, actually 75th year. I'll be 74. Yeah. I'll be 74 in a month or two. Whew, that was a fast one. A whole fast incarnation. But along the way, I met many of you. And you're all in my heart. No matter what. No matter how much you hate me, don't like me, trash me, I don't care. It's not me you're hating or trashing, it's just who you think I am. You just need to meditate a little deeper. So I'd like for us to meditate to about 3 songs here. And I'll be seeing you every week. And these videos should be going up on my website or our website of the Enlightenment Sangha, or Enlightenment Sangha, not just Enlightenment Sangha. And they'll be there for you. Remember, it's love that binds us all together. Have a good week. And every morning, remind yourself that it is another day in paradise. Namaste.